Hi everyone, welcome to another session of Developers Live. We're going to talk about payments, wallet APIs. Very exciting session today. We're going to start with some announcements. There have been quite a few things happening since we last talked. Then we have a demo. My colleague here, Pong, will demo some of the latest APIs in action. And of course, we're going to end with a Q&A session and answer your topics raised on the forums and on the moderator. So let's start with some announcements.
Sure.
Very exciting week. So what happened this week?
Yeah, so I can finally talk about one of the products I've been working on for quite a bit. Well, I mean, this is like the second iteration of the product, but it's something that I think is really useful to developers and merchants. So the product itself is called Google Wallet for online commerce. And the idea is that right now, purchasing on the mobile web is something that's very time-consuming and difficult. I mean, I've seen statistics that state something like 97% of all mobile web purchases are canceled. And what we want to do is what we set out to do is we set out to make this process more frictionless. And in order to do so, what we're doing is we're leveraging the power of Google Wallet to enable these transactions. And what I mean by that is anybody who has made a purchase on Google Play, who has made a purchase on Chrome Web Store, or bought something with Google Wallet has their credentials stored within the cloud. And what Google Wallet for online commerce does is it allows merchants to leverage these credentials so when you allow a customer to purchase with Google Wallet, what happens is we pass over a one-time use card to your servers, and you can process the transactions with your typical transaction rails. And then I'll be showing a demo of this I'll be showing a demo of this later on in the session.
Cool.
So very exciting announcement. I think it has tremendous benefit for mobile web developers. Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to the demo.
Yeah.
What else? An announcement about your questions on the forums and Google+. We're getting a lot of those, and we want to consolidate them in just one place. And the best place to do that, we think it's Stack Overflow. We've already been consolidating a lot of Stack Overflow questions from other Google APIs. So look for an announcement early next week. We're moving all our questions to Stack Overflow, and the tag, of course, will be Google Wallet. So we'll announce it on the forums and on the Google+ page.
Yep. So should we talk about the benefits? There's a few benefits of Google of using Stack Overflow. So one of the ones that I've seen, one of the ones that we've noticed is that when you're using Google Groups, which is our typical one-to-many forum support platform, is that when you have a question about, let's say Google Wallet for digital goods or checkout or something else, these groups are kind of isolated communities where the topics are all solely focused on this one sort of topic. And within Stack Overflow, instead of that, it's a huge community where these questions are kind of tagged with the topics that they're on. So what this enables us to do is, instead of having these small segregated groups, you have one huge community with everybody answering and everybody interacting. So we hope that by switching over to Stack Overflow, we provide both a better experience and we help build out the community for Google Commerce related products.
Definitely much easier to search, and right now there's also some cross-pollination among APIs. Developers use different APIs. Stack Overflow, much better place to find information about all available wallet APIs.
Yep.
Good. What else? What else is new for the next few weeks? We have some new conferences that we're going to present wallet and talk about wallet APIs at. A very exciting one, Google for Entrepreneurs in Kansas City. So if you're from the Midwest area, make sure you make time to attend that. It's on November 13 at the Kaufman Conference Center in Kansas City.
Yep.
Cool. So let's do the demo.
All right, let's do the demo. If you could, let's take a look at my laptop. And then right now, this is the Five Guys. We announced Five Guys, one of our premier launch partners. And the idea is that normally think of this as the Five Guys mobile site. And then what we're going to be doing here is just taking a look at how the flow is different between using Google Wallet for digital goods and how it can simplify the flow. So let's say I kind of want to order lunch, and then there's a Five Guys around me. This is the one in San Diego, which has Google Wallet for digital goods or Google Wallet for online commerce enabled. So I just want to get a burger, regular hamburger, delicious, delicious hamburgers, all the way, of course.
All the way.
All the way. And then here you can see it, the buy with Google Wallet button. So if I wanted to continue my typical checkout, I would do that, and I would have to either log in or create an account or check out as guests, and then I have to enter in like some additional information, such as credit card, names.
So how much data is that?
It's a few extra fields, but in this case, so if I'm using an Android device, I'm already typically logged in, which is something I can leverage. And in this case, I'm also logged into the browser, so it knows who I am. I can simply click Buy with Google Wallets. I can enable this transaction, and then use the same shipping address, use Google Wallet. So this is pre-authorizing Five Guys to have access to my wallet credentials. So next time, you'll see all the flow changes. I'll do this twice. Let me continue here. And then boom, so it has all my payment credentials and payment information and contact information. Now if I place this order, I'll actually get a cheeseburger in San Diego, and I'm in Mountain View, so unfortunately I won't complete this one. But we can go over to, we made a sample as well. So we go wallet, Java, app spot. Actually, let's go to our documentation, because the sample is also iframed in our documentation. So developers.google.com/wallets online. All right, and so this is our sample and our documentation as well. And I just want to walk you through it. So if I wanted to buy a camera on our sample, I would add to the cart. And then here, I could either buy with Google Wallet or continue checkout. The button changed a little bit, which is why this is kind of, the spacing is a little bit off. But that one is going to be fixed in the very near future. So I'm already pre-authorized on this site, so instead of confirming my selections about my method of payment, about my shipping address, I can simply click Buy with Google Wallet, and it automatically passes that information over to the merchant. And in this case, it's sandbox fake information, so no real-world transaction is going to be processed. I can place this order, and I'm done. It might take a second, quick second. And there you go. I have my receipt. I've purchased my good. I didn't have to add any of my billing or shipping information on my mobile device, which is super painful at times. And I can continue on with my rest of the day. Let's say if I wanted to buy another item, or in this case, maybe I want to upgrade my camera. I can go through the same flow, and because I'm pre-authorized now, what you can also do is tie the continue checkout button with the Google Wallet call. And so continue checkout can also request credentials from Google Wallet. Think of it as a OAuth 2 style payment credential access. So something that could be potentially super powerful. And I can continue through it. And I'm done. And because what's happening here is that Google Wallet is passing over a one-time card to the merchant, merchants and developers don't really have to change their existing payment rails. So it's super, super simplistic integration. And we can walk through, well, I don't think we need to walk through it today, but you can take a look at the documentation yourself. It's under tutorial. Right now, sign up, unfortunately, is closed. We're only working with partners. But if you are interested in becoming one of our upcoming or future partners, then you can sign up through there's a link on the FAQ page. It's right at the bottom, so contact us. And then we are always looking to add additional partners. Cool. So if you want to find out more, visit this site, developers.google.com/wallet-online. Play with the APIs, or play with the sample, take a look at the APIs, and then if you're really interested, sign up to express your interest by contacting us.
What other merchants do we have that are live with this API right now?
So we have 1-800-Flowers is live with this API, and I forget the last one. I believe
Rockport.
Is it Rockport?
Rockport, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Rockport is also live with this API,
So
and we hope to get a few more, or many more.
Yeah.
Many more.
If you want to buy flowers or shoes, or
Yeah, flowers, shoes, or cheeseburgers.
we cover the entire spectrum. No, but flyers would be really nice, and you want to buy them on the spot.
Yeah.
You have only your mobile device.
Exactly.
You don't need to insert all the address information, all the card information. Just one click, and
And you're done.
Your loved one gets the flowers.
Yeah. I mean, I can see this being really useful on, especially for like mobile ordering. I can see instead of, going to whatever fast food place where we're getting lunch, and then waiting in line and then placing your order and waiting for it to be cooked, that people can just go on their phone and place their order ahead of time and then go and pick it up, right? I think that's something that's a huge time saver. There's also a lot of other potentials in this. Like, I think mobile commerce is one field that's definitely growing. So with that, there's a lot of opportunity here. Like maybe hotels or something.
Yeah. More time to eat.
Yeah,
more time to
more
buy
time
other
to
stuff.
eat. Like hotels and travel would probably be another big area. So.
Yeah. It's making lives easier and commerce more efficient.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Pom, for the demo.
No problem.
We hope you liked it, and make sure you go check out the demo online or the documentation. And if you're interested in trying it in the sandbox and learning more about the API, use the merchant sign-up form, and we'll get in contact with you. Great. So next, let's look at some questions. We got quite a few questions submitted in the forums and in the moderator. Sure. I'll start with the first one. So it's a subscription API related question, the subscription for digital goods API. And the question is, can I create a subscription with no expiration date? So that is a very good question. And currently the API requires you to specify the number of times the subscription payment recurs. So you cannot create an open-ended subscription with no expiration date. But it's indeed a very valid case and something that makes sense. So we are working to add that additional functionality, and we hope to have it soon. So thank you for the question, and it's something that's in the works. You want to take the next one?
Sure. So when will the Save to Wallet Offers API be generally available to online merchants? We get questions about like when things are going to be released all the time, and when will they be available to merchants, or when are we going to do this. Unfortunately, we can never comment on any of that. I mean, I wish we could, but in this case, all I can say is soon in the upcoming future.
We do have some documentation, though, if people want to learn more about it.
We do. I think I forget. I haven't taken a look at the API myself, so I don't know too much about like how available it is either. Yeah. So but there is documentation available.
I'll take the next one along the same lines. Any word on support for Sprint Galaxy Note 2? So I think we support all Galaxy devices on Sprint. Sprint is one of our partners for Google Wallet, and I would be surprised if Galaxy Note doesn't work. I may be wrong, but to make sure you have a device that works, there is a list of available devices, and it should be listed in there and the list is in the help session. So if you go to wallet.google.com and at the bottom of the page you click on help, you will see the help center, and then there's a link to eligible devices, and most, if not all, of Sprint devices are listed there, so you can check that.
Cool.
Okay, next one.
I guess this one's for me. T-Mobile, what are the chances of an agreement coming through, or at least support for the Galaxy S3 for Google Wallet? Again, I mean, we're working with all of the carriers, and I can't say any more details, but we're working with the powers that be.
So Galaxy now works on Metro PCS. We just announced availability on Metro PCS.
Yeah.
And T-Mobile is buying Metro PCS, so you never know.
I heard Metro PCS is growing a lot.
Yeah.
They had huge subscriber growth.
All right, I'll take the next one. The question is, when will support for international buyers be added to the Google Wallet for Online Commerce API? So we just talked about it, the Google Wallet for Online Commerce. We saw the demo that Pong did. Yep. And right now it's released to a limited number of participating partners that we just launched with yesterday. It's not even fully available in the United States. Things will slowly be released. If you're a United States merchant, you can apply to test it. We just showed you the link, the sign-up link in the FAQ section. And then we hope to have more merchants available soon, also internationally.
Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome. I mean, We want to expand as quickly as possible, but
it is a really useful API, and we've seen a lot of interest from merchants, and we love international merchants. Next one.
That's the next one's for me. Will there be any APIs exposed for adding loyalty cards? Again, I wish I could comment on things, but I mean, I can't speculate on when things are going to be launched or if they're going to be launched even. So I guess it's going to be a waiting game. Well,
yeah, which one is going to be released first?
if it's launched, then it's launched, and then you'll know.
I'll take the next one, which is somehow related. There is one merchant who says, we are running a universal loyalty platform using NFC tags. If I want users to be able to adopt into the Google Wallet ecosystem, what is the tag specification to be used? So if I understand the question correctly, it is about NFC-enabled loyalty cards. For example, at a grocery store, instead of swiping the card, you just tap the card, and that will be your loyalty card. If you have multiple cards like that, definitely it makes sense to add all of them into the phone, and don't go when you switch retailers.
NFC,
and then you just tap the phone, and automatically will just work. So instead of carrying a lot of cards, you just carry the phone. So as we talked in the past, this would fit perfectly within the wallet ecosystem. But right now, as we said earlier, we don't have an API. But yeah, it's something that it's definitely worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, they could even, so like, we do some stuff in the background too, so it doesn't have to be NFC enabled. It could be like maybe a back-end API.
Right.
So like when the transaction gets to Google, then we can do something with the transaction information as well.
Yeah, so an API for the merchant to enable the loyalty card directly on the phone.
Yeah.
That would be something great. Let's see. I guess that's it for questions. Anything else we want to announce? So we can recap what. So we had major release this week.
Google Wallet for online commerce, now available for consumers, soon for developers and merchants like yourselves.
Okay. And then next week, look for an announcement for Stack Overflow. We're moving all our questions, all our support to Stack Overflow across all wallet APIs. And if you're in the Midwest area, Kansas City, there is a Google for Entrepreneurs conference at the Kaufman Center, November 13. If you have time, it's going to be really cool. Make sure to attend and sign up.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks
Short
everyone.
and sweet this week.
Yeah.
Next week, we have a great show for you, or not next week, in 2 weeks. We have another great session for you. We'll be bringing on a partner to showcase how they've implemented Google Wallet for digital goods.
Monetization.
Yeah, monetization.
Yes, making money.
It's going to be fun.
All right, thanks everyone, and see you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.